Does anyone remember what we did last class? Anything that was part of a left activity for this October the 1st class? October the 1st already. This ELT 125 section 1.
Hello, teacher. Good morning.
Good morning, Gaspar.
How are you today?
Good and cold. How are you?
Me too. Fine, teacher. Fine, thank you. Oh, I did the homework.
That's what I wanted to connect this class with, right? That there was a previous activity, a homework, like a task.
Okay.
And
no, I did the homework, teacher. I did it in my copybook.
Excellent. And the assignment, do you remember what it was about? What was the test about?
Stress the syllables in words.
Exactly, stress the syllables in words. So
Yes.
I believe it was the words that are in the box chat. Were they? Or
Yes.
were they a different one? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we've got 9 words there. I believe the first one was done, minus a word containing 2 syllables, being the first one, the most prominent one, my, minus, and a syllable division between, or syllable boundary between the diphthong, I, and the next consonant sound, n, right? Let's see who's in the room to to see if there's going to be participation. Anyone interested in working with the sorry, the second word? What about the third one? Anyone interested in working with the third word? How about the following?
The second one.
The second one, all right, go on, please.
Animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, animal, it has 3 syllables.
Uh-huh.
And stress in the first one. Animal.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry, classmate.
Is that right, Sebastian?
Yes.
Is that so, Sebastian?
Yes,
And
the first syllable is this one.
okay, and the syllable division
Is the after the diphthong, it ends the first syllable. Then ni, second syllable, mal. That's the third one.
all right.
Animal. That's the third one. Yes.
Perfect.
Any
Thank you
other
very
question?
much. Yeah, just for the sake of it, the first syllable, is it an open or closed syllable?
An open.
All right. And in terms of weight, is it light or heavy? What do you think?
I believe it's heavy because it's a diphthong, so it's long.
Okay.
And it's a long syllable, so it's heavy, I think.
All right. Let me see if I can share the transcription of the word heavy. I'm sorry, of the word animal. I beg your pardon. Of the word animal. So the transcription of the word animal is in the chat. Do you agree with the transcription? Disagree with the transcription? This is a question for everyone, all right? Everyone is invited to join the conversation. The word animal is transcribed in the chat box. Okay. So,
I am surprised. I mean, I thought that the third one was well, like animal, because the onset takes priority in the last syllable. That's what I thought.
yeah, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. It's very common to, because the way we parse syllables, the way we divide syllables, right? In Spanish would make the go into the third syllable, mal, right? Because that's the way we do it in our native language. And also, according to the maximum onset theory, this which is an intervocalic consonant of consonant in between e and between e. According to this maximum onset principle, it should be placed as the onset of syllable number 3, as
Right.
mal, right? But again, the maximum onset principle does not explain every single case, and this is one of them, in which is placed as the coda of the second syllable and not as the onset of the third one. Right? So English is a language full of surprises. Now, the first syllable, going back to the original question, open or closed, you said open. And heavy or light?
Yes, the first one, right? The first syllable,
Mm-hmm.
maybe?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Heavy, I
sir.
think. Heavy.
Heavy. Okay. So a syllable to be considered a heavy syllable
Uh,
needs.
I, I think it, I think I was mistaken. No, no, it's light. Yes,
Okay. All right. Excellent. Light. Exactly.
yes.
Light.
I saw something that wasn't there. No, I was completely wrong. Yes, it's
All
light.
right. No, no. Yes. Okay. It's light. Exactly. Just as a reminder, a syllable to be considered light is a syllable that contains a short vowel sound, such as the trap that we can see in the initial syllable of animal. And also only one consonant sound in the coda or in the onset, right? If we see a long vowel sound is in the nucleus, or if we see two or more consonant sounds in the onset of the coda, branching onset, branching codas, right? We are talking about, or we're dealing with a heavy syllable. Right. This was not part of the assignment. This was not part of the task. This is just extending the task a little bit more to connect it with also previous knowledge. I would like to take a look at two more questions from the task. Just two more. Who would like to take up one question, one word, to have another one, and then we go on with the main focus of this of today's lesson. Just two more words. Oh, I found the slide. I was looking for the slide and I finally found it. So this is it. Let me know if you're watching this. We've got minus animal, curate, plosive, uninspected, established, legal, specific, and international. Minus the first one, animal, the second one, curate, plosive, next one, unexpected, establish, illegal, specific, and international. So this is the syllabication of the words, right? The boundaries for each one of the words is stated here with these dots, right? That's a syllable boundary. The primary stress is shown with this upper left-hand stroke at the beginning of the syllable, or at the left, right? Expected, established. Let's take a look at some, okay, establish. Establish could have been divided, maybe leaving this, right, next to E, to have is, and then tab. That could be possible, right? That could be possible, because tab, it's a possible combination, a consonant and a trap here. And is also a possible combination. Now, the combination of the cluster consonants of s and t, st, can be found in many words. Stain, stout, stan, stove, so s and t is a completely possible combination. So therefore, this is following the maximum onset principle, the theory, right? That whenever possible, instead of attaching this consonant sound to the coda of one syllable, you attach it as the onset of, in this case, the second syllable. Okay. Same thing with illegal. Illegal. Could have been attached to the first syllable, ill, and then leaving this e alone here, right? But it's attached to the second syllable as the onset of the second syllable. Okay, this is a revision of your task. Hopefully, there are many good and correct answers. Okay, and I would like to move on to the focus of this today's lesson, which is strong and weak forms. But before, let me show you some pictures, right? And I want you to say whatever comes to your mind first. Okay, are you watching or seeing this presentation that says strong and weak forms?
Yes.
Yes? All right. Then I'll show you some images. And then I want you to describe these images. The first thing that comes to your mind. First, do you know these movie characters?
Yes, but not at all.
Okay. And what can you say to describe, for example, the character in the middle? What's his name?
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. All right. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Or how can you describe this in one sentence?
He's a pirate.
He's a pirate, exactly. He's a pirate. Let me write that down because we're going to use this later, right? He's a
Okay.
pirate. All right. Alrighty. He's a pirate. Thank you. What about the guy on the far right hand?
He's Gandalf.
Okay. What can we say about Gandalf?
Well, he's a wizard.
He's a wizard. Any type of wizard? Any other thing that we can say about this wizard?
Well, he's the reincarnation of a divine being, basically. But that's more in the books, but whatever. In the books.
So he's a reincarnation of a divine being.
Yes, basically.
All right. All right. What about the guy here, over here? What's his name on the bottom left corner? This movie character and book character as well.
Well, his real name is Tom Riddle, but as a wizard, he's known as Voldemort.
Okay. So his real name is Tom Riddle. And he's known?
As Voldemort, yes.
So Voldemort. All right. All right. And what about the one?
The one who shall not be named.
Okay. All right. And the lady in the top left-hand corner? Any idea?
I know that she's from Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember her name. I think it's like Cat or something like that. Cat.
Katniss.
Oh, thank you.
Katniss. All right. Let's play along with what we have. All right. So are you seeing an empty PowerPoint slide now, or you're still seeing the image of the characters?
I'm still seeing the characters.
Okay. Thank you for the feedback. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to share this slide. Okay, I think now we're seeing the empty one, I think. So he's a pirate. Let me make this somewhat bigger. Okay, he's a pirate. He's Gandalf. He's a wizard. He is a reincarnation of a divine being. Right? Then his real name is Tom Riddle. And he is known as Voldemort. The one, I didn't get if it's who or which. Correct me, please, if I'm wrong. Shall not be named, right? And the next thing is
Yes,
mhm.
the one we shall not be named. That's right.
Okay, thank you. And I know is from the
Hunger Games.
thank you, Hunger Games. I think her name is Katniss. Like that? Let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger. And then we share it. And now, okay. So here we have some sentences that you stated, right? He's a pirate. He's Gandalf. He's a wizard. He's a reincarnation of a divine being. If you can read these sentences on your own, I'm sorry, and you pay attention to the way you say the words, specifically which words you stress and which words you leave unstressed, you will find that some words are usually or frequently or continuously stressed, and others are continuously not stressed or unstressed. He's a pirate. Which word do you think receives or is emphasized in this first sentence?
Pirate.
All right. So he's a pirate is the first word, right? In the first sentence is the word that receives the emphasis. Is the most prominent in the sentence, right? He's a pirate. What about the second one? Here we have 1, 2, 3 sentences. In the first one, up to here, which is the one that receives more emphasis? It's more prominent.
Gandalf.
Gandalf, all right. Please, if you disagree, if you think it's another one, just say it, all right? This is the class, this virtual class is the moment to say it. Next one, he's a wizard.
Wizard.
Wizard. In the following,
Divine being, maybe.
okay, divine being. All right. What about the next one? Up to the coma.
Tom Riddle, right?
Real name.
Tom Riddle, real name. Okay. What about the one after the comma? In between the two commas.
Voldemort.
Okay, Voldemort. And after Voldemort,
Shall not.
shall not. Okay. Both shall not or shall
Yes.
or not. Ah, both. All right. And in the next one, what do you think?
Hunger Games.
Okay, Hunger Games. And in the last one, what do you think?
Katniss.
Katniss. Okay. All right. So in general, we can say that a pirate, Gandalf, a wizard, divine being, Tom Riddle, real name, Voldemort, shall not, Hunger Games, and Katniss. Well, we can say probably that in general, the elements in a sentence which are going to be stressed or that are going to be more prominent in a sentence are going to be nouns, names, right? Content words. Content words is the word used to classify a specific parts of speech. Content words are, for example, nouns such as pirate, wizard, games, right? Content words are also verbs, right? Play, visit, go. Also, content words are adjectives. No, nouns, we have verbs, we have adjectives, such as divine, beautiful, strong, and also besides adjectives, we have adverbs, right? Adverbs are also content words. Content words are a closed class of words. Sorry, an open class, because you know many words can be created and invented, and new words are coming into the English language, so they're an open category. The ones that are not stressed, like his, again, his, his, is, okay? All of these are called function words or grammar words. Function words, such as, for example, auxiliary verbs. When I say auxiliary verbs, I refer to, for example, the first element in the sentence. Do you want some coffee? Do you want some coffee? D, okay? Or does she have long hair? Does she have long hair? Does, okay? Function words. Can. Can you open the window, please? Can you open the window, please? Can. All right? Those are function words. We're going to have a list of which are the function words, which are the content words. But in general, function words or grammar words are unstressed, right? They are unstressed, whereas content words are stressed. Okay, so that's important to understand, because that gives English the rhythm. That's why English is a stress language, right? It's a lexical stress language, because in lexical stress languages, some words are emphasized and others are not. And therefore, there is a specific rhythm to the language, from having stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed. And this is not what happens in every single language. In many other languages, the one called syllable time languages, every single language receives an equally distributed amount of stress, right? But in English and many lexical stress languages, some syllables received or are more emphasized and others are not, okay? And it has to do with selecting specific words in an utterance or in a sentence, which are the most important ones. And therefore, this has an implication on communication, because if you're not aware of this difference in lexical stress languages, you may have a hard time understanding native speakers. You may have a hard time trying to understand what they are saying, because some sections of the words are going to sound less clear, okay? Because instead of listening to, for example, the preposition to with a full strong form all the time, we're going to hear it as t with the schwa, t. t. Okay, or whenever we are listening to and instead of listening to the full form, right? And sometimes we will see that it changes to n. Sometimes it changes to n, as in a very famous 80s band, Guns N' Roses, right? Guns N' Roses, n, and. So this is the strong form, the full form, and these are two reduced forms or weak forms. And even there's another one which is n. So I would say that this is the next one, and I would leave the n on its own at the end as the most reduced one of all. Okay, so that's the impact. You sound more natural in when you are using weak forms, and if you get used to these weak forms, there's a high probability that you can understand more conversations of native speakers, right? We have 5 sentences here, and let's see if you can read them aloud on your own. Just very simply. How many brothers and sisters have you got? How often do you play tennis? What kind of music do you like? What time do you usually get up? How much does it cost? So after reading these questions, you may notice that there are some elements that are emphasized and others that are not, right? You may test the information given in the previous slide. Are all content words emphasized? Are all function words reduced? Right? We're going to learn that in general, function words are reduced. They are pronounced with usually a schwa, right? Like to becomes t, you becomes y, right? But not in every single sentence, in every single utterance, right? Sometimes we emphasize, for example, from becomes from with a schwa, except in final position. Where do you come from? Where do you come from? From, if it's used in final position, it's going to be used in its full form, okay, with the strong form. In other place in the sentence, from becomes from with a schwa, okay? So that's the only, I mean, one of the exceptions that we need to take into account. Let's take a look at some of these information. Here, Maite, do you mind reading this slide, please? How about Hector? Hector, do you have a working microphone?
What?
Hector, can you read aloud the slide? That's I think I'm sharing this.
What do you refer when you say slide?
I'm sharing a PowerPoint presentation, and a PowerPoint presentation has different slides. In Spanish, we call them diapositivas, I think, right? That's the name for...
Okay, okay. Sorry.
That's all right.
In English, yes. In English, weak pronunciations are more frequent than strong ones. Which words have weak and strong forms? Preposition, auxiliaries, verb, modal verbs, pronouns, possessive adjectives, pronouns, conjunction, articles, function words, odd grammar words.
Thank you so much. I was muted. That's why I wasn't talking. So sorry, English weak pronunciations are more frequent than there's a misspelling there. Strong ones. And in general, as you can see here, function words are going to be very small words, prepositions, modal verbs, pronouns. They are smaller as compared to content words. Let's take a look at the next slide. Can I have a volunteer for to read the following slide, please? Let's say Nicolas Duran. Are you here, Nicolas?
Yes.
Do you mind reading the slide, please?
Okay. While some function words have no weak form at all, in, on, off, when, others have more than one weak form, depending on the phonetic context. Weak forms is not the same as contracted forms. It's, we have. Which words only have strong forms? Nouns, main verbs, adjectives, adverbs, content words, or meaning words.
Thank you so much. So in the first part, it says some function words have no weak form at all, right? In, on, off, and when. And others have more than one weak form, and that's what we're to take in side. You're not supposed to confuse weak forms with constructive form. Sorry, here. If and with, right? It is, we have, and the strong seen in words. Let me get. Okay. In content words, as I mentioned before, nouns, adjectives, and adverbs, right? This is going to be clear in the following exercises. Now, please take a look at the features of the weak form. Please take notes because we're going to have some exercises. Take a moment to read this aloud. Sorry, to read this, and then I'm going to ask some of you to read this aloud, please. All right, can I have a volunteer to read this slide, please? Anyone interested?
I want to read.
Thank you.
A reduction in length B from B to B. Vowel reductions towards a weak vowel are from A to A, or A instead of A. Elisions of vowels is instead of is. Elision of consonants. Im instead of him. Function words with a light H are more common than the unaligned ones, except in sentences initial position, where only the letter are possible. In those function words which have alternative weak pronunciations, one with a schwa vowel and another with schwa vowel deletion, and, can, does, was, will, the former generally occurs before vowels, can, and the letter before consonants. I don't know how to say that.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. Questions about this slide?
I have a question. Uh, when when do we use the elision of consonants like im instead of him? We can use it when we want, or it's like we have to talk sometimes with the him and sometimes with him of with if we say only him is good.
The use of im, the use of the elision of the first sound in him is quite common. For example, in sentences like tell him to wake up, tell him to go to the store, tell him, tell her instead of her. Tell her is quite common, so it's okay if you use it, or if you prefer to use it instead of the full or strong form. I think it's very common to for speakers to use it. So yeah, I would definitely use it. I recommend it.
Okay.
Any other question? All questions are welcome. Okay, let's continue with the next slide. In this slide, we have 4 sentences. I want you to read these sentences on your own, and I want you to mark the words which are going to be stressed, the ones that are going to be used in strong form. Okay, I would rather have you circle the strong forms and underline the words that are going to be used in weak form. For example, the first one says, she's been a vegetarian for 10 years now. She's been a vegetarian for 10 years now. Which words do you think are used with a strong form here? Which words in this sentence in number 1? Well, it doesn't have a number, but
Vegetarian.
okay. So vegetarian is going to be used in full form or strong form. Exactly. Is that the only one?
10 years.
Okay. Which one in the word in the phrase 10 years? Both?
Teen.
Okay.
And she's she.
And she. Okay. In general, pronouns are not used to, I mean, we don't use the strong form for pronouns in general unless we are emphasizing, right? Like, for example, she's been a vegetarian for 10 years, not he, or not them. She's been a vegetarian for 10 years now, not me, she. Okay, so if we are emphasizing that is this person, this woman, we emphasize the first element, she. Otherwise, she as a pronoun is not going to be used. The strong form is not going to be used for a pronoun. Okay, so in general, I would recommend not to use a strong form for a pronoun. And she's been a vegetarian for 10 years now. I think this is important elements of the sentence, right? That she's a vegetarian, and it's been 10 years now. So these are very important elements of the sentence. Therefore, we need to use a full form or strong form. They cannot be reduced anyway. And which elements do you think are going to be used in its weak form?
Four.
Four, perfect.
A vegetarian. The A
Excellent,
is
excellent.
been.
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure with now. Now is weak or strong?
What is now? What do you think?
Because maybe it's emphasizing that now, but before she wasn't a vegetarian. So it's like, it's good.
Right. The key for that question is if it's a content word, that is, if it's a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, it doesn't have a weak form, only a strong form. So my question is now, what part of speech is it? Is it a content word, a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, or a function word, a conjunction, an article, a preposition? That's a question that you need to make, and you can go online and see the part of the speech that the word is. So if it's a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, it is a content word, and content words do not have a weak form, only a strong form. Okay, that's the question that you need to whenever in doubt, if you're not sure, go online, Google the word. For example, in this case, now you can go to the online Cambridge Dictionary and see what part of speech is now. If it's a content word, you cannot reduce it. You have to use only the strong form. Okay, so in the exercises that you have in this slide, what I want you to do is I want you to circle the words that are used in its strong form, and I want you to underline the words that are used in a weak form. Okay, do you think that between 5 to 10 minutes is okay?
Yes.
Okay, so between 5 and 10 minutes, and then we analyze your answers, all right?
All right.
Alrighty, good luck, guys. I'm going to be here in case you have any questions. Are you done with the task? Do you need more time, guys?
I did it. I think I did.
All right. Could you read aloud one of the sentences? And after you read the sentences, you can read. I mean, you can read it aloud 1, 2, or 3 times. Can you point out or explain which are the words that are used in their strong form and which ones are used in a weak form?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Do you want to me read aloud?
Yes, please. Choose
Okay.
one and then explain it.
The second. Could you make me a coffee to while you're about it? Could you make me a coffee to while you're about it? And I think the stress are make me coffee. And all the others are uh, lighter or are stress. Because could you, uh, I think in majority, we don't stress that part. Two, what you're about it is like complement, so it's not so important. And obviously, the A between make me and coffee, uh, I don't think we have to stress that.
Right. It was a very good analysis. Could you make me a coffee too? Well, while you're about it, could you make me a coffee too while you're about it? Could you make me a coffee? Let's take a look at the first part of a sentence. Could you make me a coffee too? Could you make me a coffee too? It's not could, right? Could. It's could with the schwa. And then it's not you, it's yeah, right? Could you make me a
Yes.
coffee? Mm-hmm. And you said coffee. Coffee is a strong form, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So coffee is a noun. A noun is used always with a strong form, never with a weak form. And make is a verb. Therefore, also a verb is used in its strong form. So we can reduce could for could, you for yeah, me for actually me. If you remember the previous slide, me with a long E can be reduced in terms of the length, not make it so long, but actually with the same characteristics of the vowel. And then A is not A coffee, but with a schwa, right? Coffee. Two, it's not usually stressed. I mean, it's not usually used in. It's not the strong form, the one which is generally used, but the weak form instead of to. But here, could you make me a coffee too? I guess it's important. Two, while you're about it, while you are about it, while you are about it, while you're about it. Which one do you think in the rest or in the second part of this sentence is the word stressed, or the one, sorry, the one which is used as its strong form. Well, you're about it. Well, you're about it.
I think that while is stress too or not.
Okay. Could you make me a coffee too while you're about it? While you're about it. While you're about it. Could you make me a coffee too while you're about it? While you're about it. See, about is a preposition. Prepositions are not, when you use a preposition, you usually prefer the weak form, right? About, but unless you are emphasizing this in a sentence, so depending on the context in this way, you can emphasize it and you can use a strong form. Well, you're about it. Well, you're about it. So while you're doing something, can you make me a coffee? While you are watching TV, can you prepare me a coffee as well? While you're reading, can you prepare? Can you make me a coffee? Can you make me a coffee too while you're about it? While you're about it, about something, right? While doing something. So this is a very, very a different case. But as you can see, prepositions are usually used in their weak forms. But sometimes if you're emphasizing, depending on the context, you can use a strong form. As I mentioned before, the preposition from is usually used as from with a schwa, the weak form, from, unless it's in final position. Where are you from? Then you used the strong form of the word, okay? So in the first one, make, right? Making, it's a strong form in coffee because we have a verb here and a noun in the second one. And while you're about it, it is a preposition, but in this context, it should be emphasized. Let's consider 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Anyone interested in reading 2? Sorry,
Teacher,
3 and 4. Yes.
sorry, but how we know while when a word is strong or weak, or is only for the content of the sentence?
Um,
Doesn't exist rules to do this, or only the capacity to identify the stress?
well, if we can mention a rule, the rule is if you're using a content word, you're using the strong form, never a weak form. If you're using a function words, for example, articles like the, right, or prepositions like to, from, about, conjunctions, right? If you're using these function words, you always use a weak form. That's a rule. But then the context is very important because according to the context, sometimes a preposition, which is, we usually use the weak form. Sometimes we have to use a strong form because the context requires to use the strong form. For example, can you cook? Can you cook? In the first element of can you cook? Can we used a reduced form or a weak form, can, with a schwa, because it's a modal. A modal in English, modals like can, may, might, could. We use the weak form for these words, right? Modal, can. Can you cook? But when you're answering, you say, yes, I can. Yes, I can. You might be emphasizing the fact that you can cook, right? That you know how to cook. So in your answer, you should say, yes, I can. You have to use a strong form. So in the question, can you cook? Can you cook? A general question. We use a weak form. In the answer, yes, I can. Yes, I can. The same word takes up the strong form because you are emphasizing that specific word. So the general rule, content words always with a strong form. Function words or grammar words, as some people say, always with a weak form. Unless the context requires to emphasize a specific function word, and then we cannot use the weak form for that, but strong form. Are you going to are you coming from Santiago? Are you coming from Santiago? No, I'm traveling to Santiago. I'm traveling to Santiago. So the preposition to is usually used, the weak form is used, to. But in this context, I'm traveling to Santiago because I want the listener to understand that the direction in which I'm traveling is to Santiago, not from Santiago. So then I'm emphasizing the preposition. So when I'm emphasizing the preposition, I'm using a strong form. So we have a rule, but then again, it depends on the context. I don't know if I'm answering the question or if you have
No. So, resumiendo,
summing up. Yes, summing up.
what types of of words are always stress?
What type of words we're using always strong form?
Yes.
Yes, strong form is connected with content words. Always content words.
Content words. All right.
Yes. What are content words? Nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Nouns, sustantivos, right? Nouns.
Yes.
Verbs,
nouns, adjectives, and
adverbs, and adverbs.
All right.
Yes. And the rest of the words are called function words. And whenever you use function words, we are using the weak form. I think
that depends of the context of the sentence.
Exactly.
All right.
For example, in the slide that I'm sharing now, at the bottom it says prepositions, auxiliary verbs, modal verbs, pronouns, possessive adjectives, pronouns again, sorry, conjunctions, articles. All of these are called function words. Some people call them grammar words, but in general, the concept is function words. So whenever you see in a sentence a function word, there is a very high probability that you're going to use the weak form. Not to, but to. Not could, but could. Not can, but can. And
all right.
this, all right. And the reduced form or a weak form, most of the times it will have a schwa. Sometimes a schwa, right? Sometimes, and these are the features that you can find in weak forms. Sometimes there is a reduction of the length. B is going to be B. And it's the same vowel, but a little bit shorter. Do not get confused with the other one with the short lax E, because we're not talking about a different vowel. We're talking about length only. Okay.
Okay.
In the second case, you see that instead of saying are, we're going to say like who are you? 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 Okay. elision of so instead of in the number 3 z instead of is she's 10 years old. She's 10 years old, right? Z. And in the 4th case, we have elision or deletion, right, of the first consonant sound, like in him or her, tell him, tell her. Okay. And finally, sometimes we're going to find that we're using as here, can, or even the vowel sound is omitted, can. We go straight from k to n, and we used what's called a syllabic consonant sound. A syllabic consonant sound is shown by this symbol at the bottom. You see the sound n with the phonetic symbol n. We see this small dot below. That's used for syllabic consonants when the schwa is elided, when the schwa does not appear.
All right, I got it.
Alrighty. So let's take a look at examples 3 and 4. Any volunteer? You have to read the sentence 2 or 3 times and then analyze it in terms of strong forms and weak forms. Any volunteer?
I will go if I can do it.
Yes, please. Thanks.
That's strange. I am sure I put my glasses on my back, but they are not there. That is strange. I am sure I put my glasses on my back. They are not there. That is strange. I am sure I put my glasses on my back, but they are not there. All right, I think that the stress. Oh no, yeah, the words with
Strong forms and weak forms.
the strong forms are strange, sure, glasses and back.
All right, and therefore the words in which we use the weak forms are
My on the my glasses, my back, and but not, they are not there, and maybe there. Why not?
all right. In the first part, can you read the first part?
That's strange.
Exactly, that's strange. We have 2 options whenever we think about the first word. We have the demonstrative, right, adjective. It's demonstrative adjective or pronoun. We can say that with a trap, that, or we can use the weak form and we can say that with a schwa, that. If we are emphasizing something, right, we have to use the strong form with a trap. That, for example, that is the shirt, or that is the t-shirt that I want to buy. Not this one, not the other one, that one. So when we are emphasizing, right, we have to use the strong form, the one in which the pronunciation includes a trap about that. Okay, that t-shirt is the one that I want to buy. Now, if we're not emphasizing this particular word, we have to use the weak form, the one that has schwa as the vowel sound. That's strange. So I would say the first element in that strange, that right, should be weak. That's strange because the important word in this sentence is the adjective strange. The content word, which is, you know, we're using the strong form for this one. It's strange. It's strange. All right. So the first. All right. Now the second part. Can you read the second part, please?
I'm sure I put my glasses on my back.
All right. So the safest way to do this is, let's identify the content words present in this section. What are the nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs present in this sentence?
Sure is an adjective, glasses
Okay.
is a noun, and bag is another noun.
Okay, so those are content words. So we're pronouncing these words using the strong form. Okay, what about, you said, did you mention put?
Put is an
Put?
adverb.
I put my glass, put put on the shirt, put
I
is,
think
it's
that
an action, right? Put it there.
verb.
It's a verb, exactly, put. So sure, put, glasses, and bag, they are content words, so we have to use a strong form. They don't have a weak form anyway, okay? There's no way to reduce put or glasses or bag, right? Or sure. I mean,
Into a weak form.
always a strong form with these content words. The other words, I'm, I, my, in, and my, they are considered function words. So we can use, yes, we can use weak forms with them. So I totally agree with what you read. I'm sure I put my glasses in my bag. My glasses in my bag. Glasses in my. If you see in my, they are not emphasized. We're not emphasizing these words. My bag. Bag is the one where that is emphasized, right? So in this section, the strong forms, sure, glasses, sure, put, glasses, and bag. Completely agree with you. The other words should be used should be pronounced using the weak forms, right? Now we need to pay attention to the first one, I'm, because I'm is not technically is not a weak form. It's a contraction. It's a contraction of I am. So contractions are not considered weak forms. Okay. If I ask you to all right. If I ask you to classify these into strong and weak forms, it's not the I am or it is or we have right. They're not weak forms, but contraction forms. All right. Now,
so the construction are always strong forms, or no, or no, doesn't have an adjective to that.
right. The contractions I'm for I am, or it's for it is, or with for we have, or there for they are, etc., 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 are not considered weak forms but contractions. So they are not considered strong form, but they will have only one way to pronounce them, right? Always is going to be I'm or there or with, and they don't have any other way to be pronounced.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And in the last section, but they are not there. But they are not there. But they are not there. Which do you think are the words in which we have to use the strong form?
There.
Okay, we can say they, but they are not there. I'm sure I put my glasses in my bag, but they are not there. But they are not there. Or but they are not there. I'm sure I put my glasses in my bag, but they are not there. But they are not there. What do you think? Should be the
I think that depends of the person of the person. They or their depends of the intention that they want can que uno quiera darle.
absolutely. It depends on the context, right? It depends on, as you mentioned, and it's a very important aspect that I want to highlight what you said. It depends on the intention of the speaker, and depending on the speaker, the emphasis is going to be given to one specific word in a sentence. I'm sure I put my glasses in my bag, but they are not there, or but they are not there. In my humble opinion, I think, but they are not there. I would emphasize the word not, because I'm sure I put my glasses in my bag, so I expect the glasses to be in my bag, but they are not there. Not is the key information that is contradicting or opposing to the previous statement. I'm sure I put my glasses in my bag, but they are not there. Of course, I can decide as a speaker to say, but they are not there. Right? They are not there. But in my opinion, I would stress or emphasize, but they are not. But they are not there. The word not, because previously I said that my glasses I put them in my bag, but they're not there. So I guess two options are possible, but not, you can use it you can use a strong form, not, or you can use a weak form, not, with a schwa, right? In this case, I would use the strong form of the word not, but also depends on the speaker's intention, as you said. Can we take a look at the fourth example, please? Is anyone interested in reading aloud and analyzing it?
Could you repeat, teacher? I don't get.
Exercise number 4.
Ah, uh, I want, but I have a lot of doubts, especially with shirt, because I think in the beginning, when you say a new shirt, you have to strong that word. But I am not too sure when said again the shirt was pretty expensive, because it's necessary to say the same word twice, both stressed.
Let's take a look at the example. First, why don't you read it aloud and see, and let's see how it works, right?
Okay. I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes. The shirt was pretty expensive, but the shoes weren't.
Okay, let's take up the first part. So I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes. I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes.
Both
So
is strong. I just
okay.
bought because it's a verb. A new,
Right.
because it's a adjective.
Uh-huh.
New again. That is my other question. If new is repeated, but it's an adjective, so we have to strong both new.
Um, well, in general, when you are emphasizing words in a sentence, so you're using the strong form for these words, you're emphasizing additional information which is new. In this case, you're repeating the same adjective, but still new is an adjective, so it doesn't have a reduced form or a weak form. It's always going to be new. We're not going to change any of the, for example, vowel sounds to put a schwa there. We don't say n, right? It's always going to be new. So for both new shirt and new shoes, the word new will have only one form, which is the strong form. Remember that all content words only have one form, which is the strong one. And the function words have a strong or a weak form. So in the case of both new, the first one here, new, it's going to be new again here and new shoes. So just bought a new shirt and some new shoes. Right? Now, what do you think about this word, some? Because yes. What do you think about this one?
No, I don't think. Okay, this is wrong. Because if you take off the some, it's the same meaning.
Right. I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes. I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes. Some new shoes. The word some is is a function word, as I mentioned before. A function word.
It's weak.
You can use you can use strong form and a weak form, right? The strong form would have a wedge, some, and the weak form for this word, for this function word, some. So some new shoes or some new shoes. Some. So in this case, the form that we should prefer for this should be the weak form.
Yes.
Yes, right? So I just put a new shirt and some new shoes. Some new shoes. Some. Okay. The same thing for the... Yes?
My another question is, we have to say a strong new shirt or only new? We are emphasizing that is a new shirt or is only new. I think it's new shirt because the two words together make like a new word.
Right. I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes. I believe that both elements, even though we have two content words, new shirt, new and shirt. These are two content words. Both of them receive almost an equally amount of emphasis. Both words are prominent. I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes. So new and shoes, I guess they are at the same level in terms of prominence or emphasis. Therefore, we're not discussing if we're using a strong form or a weak form for any of these two words, right? New and shirt, because both of them are content words and both of them have only a strong form, right? Content words only have a strong form. It's always new, it's always shirt, right? I just bought a new shirt, some new shoes. I would say both receive the same amount of emphasis in the case of new shirt and new shoes. But again, depending on the way you say it as a speaker, you could say, I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes, right? Probably the amount of emphasis you could decide could be to stress the noun, right? To clarify that it's you're talking about shirt and shoes and not any other clothing items. It's not ties, it's not sweaters, it's not pants, right? It's not belts, it's shirt and shoes, the thing that you're discussing. But I think in general terms, without having the specific emphasis, right, you can say, I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes. New and shirt, new and shoes, having roughly the same amount of emphasis. My point is, if we pay attention to the function words and the function word some, we can choose between some with a wedge or some with a schwa. In this case, some with a schwa should be the preferred option, right? In the case of and, we can say and with a trap or and with a schwa. I would say the preferred option should be and with a schwa. In the case of just, you can also have a strong form, right? And the strong form can have a wedge, just. And the weak form could have a schwa. I would say prefer the second option, just. I just bought, just. And not just, but just. I just bought as you mentioned before, the strong form could be a. I just bought a new shirt. Excellent, beautiful, a really wonderful color. A new shirt, a. But the weak form is a schwa. In this context, I would suggest the schwa. I just bought a new shirt and some new shoes. Okay. In the following example, in the same line, the shirt was pretty expensive, but the shoes weren't. The shirt was pretty expensive, but the shoes weren't. Let's focus on the content words. Which are the content words in this sentence? In the last one.
Pretty expensive. Pretty expensive.
Pretty expensive. These two are content words. Any other content word that you can identify?
Shoes, shirt.
Shoes, shirt.
And weren't. What is weren't in this context?
Interesting. Weren't was. The shirt was pretty expensive, but the shoes weren't. In this case, weren't, right? Weren't is also going to be considered a content word because it's a verb. It's a main verb. The shoes weren't. We're not using this as part of verbal phrase or we're not saying weren't, that the children weren't playing, weren't something, weren't in a verb in ing. This is a main verb, weren't, right? So first, do you agree that these are all content words? Shirt, pretty, expensive, and shoes, and weren't, because we have a noun here. Let me change this. Okay, this is a noun. Pretty, this is an adverb. Expensive is an adjective. Pretty is qualifying expensive. It's not little expensive, it's pretty expensive, very expensive. Shoes is a noun, and weren't is a verb, right? Now, the function words that we have here are the. The is a function word. So we're not using the strong form, the shirt. Actually, the form the is used only when we have a noun starting with a vowel sound, right? Like the apple, right? Otherwise, we all say the weak form with the schwa. The shirt was. We have two forms here. The strong form was with a wedge, or the weak form with the schwa. The shirt was pretty expensive, or with the weak form. The shirt was pretty expensive. The shirt was pretty expensive, but the shoes weren't.
And
What
what
do you
is
think?
the weak form of but?
The weak form of that, like the one in exercise number 3?
No, but the shoes weren't of but.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. But the strong form is, as far as I know, is a wedge, but.
Okay.
But the weak form is a schwa, but.
That is the way we have to say it with the second.
With the
With the
second
schwa.
one, with the weak form, exactly. But.
And the same with was. No, was very weak.
Yeah, in was, I would use the weak form. The shirt was pretty expensive. I think the very important, meaningful information here is that the shirt was pretty expensive. It's not that the shirt was pretty tight, or the shirt was pretty loose, or the shirt was pretty big. The shirt was pretty expensive. So expensive, it's a very meaningful piece of information in this sentence. So I would not use the strong form for the verb was with a wedge, was. I would use the schwa here, was. The shoe was pretty expensive, but the shoes weren't. And that's pretty much the analysis for this one. As you can see, the first one to deal with is identify the content words in the sentence. The content words, the nouns as shirt, the adverbs as pretty, the adjectives as expensive, so noun, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs are content words. Never use a weak form with them, because they don't have any weak form. They always pronounce with one way, one form. It is the function words in which you have to make a decision whether to use the strong form or the weak form. In general, it's going to be the weak form unless you are emphasizing that specific element. Okay, now in the following slide, there are several website links. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's take a look at the first one, what it looks like, to explain you what you have to do. Am I sharing the website now?
is loading. Yes.
All right, excellent. So here we have, I mean, this is just one, the thing, the first one, okay? And probably we have already used this one. This website contains short dialogues. This is one source, one website that you can use. And here you have short dialogues. Let me copy and paste this in the chat box so you can have it, all right? So what I want you to do here is I want you to go and click any of these links to find a dialogue. You have short dialogues 1. If you look at the left in the website, you have short dialogues 1, short dialogues 2, short dialogues 3. So you can pick in any of these, okay? I'm clicking on short dialogues 2. Okay, I'm clicking now on short dialogues 3. And so you have to pick one of these, like entertainment, for instance, and then it will take you to another section. And in here, you need to choose a dialogue. Okay, let me get rid of the ads. Let's suppose that we are, I don't know, a chilly day, just to hear something, right? So what you can do here is you can listen to the dialogue, and then you can replicate the dialogue. You can read the dialogue on your own. And then you can focus on specifically the function words, how function words are pronounced. Are the speaker using a strong form or a weak form? Okay, for instance, let's see in this dialogue. In this section, is the speaker saying you, right, the strong form, or yeah, with the schwa, yeah? Maybe you should, maybe yeah, maybe you should. Is the speaker saying maybe you should, you, the strong form, or maybe you should, yeah, the weak form? Okay. So what we're going to do is first we're having a break. Okay, we're having a break. After the break, we will have a speaking practice session in Zoom. I will send you an invitation to meet in Zoom. In Zoom, we will divide the group in pairs, okay? And in pairs, you will go to this website. You have many options. I'm going to post these links that you can find in the PowerPoint slide. But the idea is that you can go to any of the dialogues that you can find here. You need to agree on one specific dialogue, and you can listen first, and then do some speaking practice, and then identify
Teacher,
specifically which are the words pronounced using their weak forms. Yes, sir.
what is the option? What did you choose in short dialogues 1?
I chose a chilly day, in the section called entertainment. Entertainment, and this one was in short dialogues 3.
Could you back the main short dialogues 3
Yeah,
or
but
no?
it's totally up to you to decide which dialogue you're using. So let me be very clear about this. First, we're having a break. After the break, we're meeting here in Teams. Okay. In Teams, I'm sending the invitation to go to Zoom. Okay. And when we get there, I'm going to paste again the website links, so you can go to these website links and you have to decide in groups which dialogue you're going to practice. So hopefully each couple will have practice a different dialogue.
Teacher,
Yes, yes, sir.
but the class into the 10:35.
Oh, you're right. You're completely right. I think I missed an hour. You're completely
Sorry,
right.
teacher.
Someone robbed me an hour.
No, no, no. You were explaining to Hector very clearly about the strong, the weak, and that explanation were very good but long. So, but that is your work. You are good that you did that thing because you're playing very well.
Thank you, and thank you for the explanation, because there seems to be 1 hour missing from my life. Okay, so uh, the
Don't worry,
so
teacher. Don't
all right,
worry.
thank you. So the link is in the chat box, and take a moment to review the dialogues. The idea with these dialogues is that first you can listen to them. You can listen to what other speakers are. Uh, well, they are using the dialogues in a context. And remember, as some of you said, sometimes it depends on the speaker which elements the he or she wants to emphasize. Okay, so take a look at the dialogues. We can use the dialogues for next session in order to practice more about strong and weak forms. Okay, I'm going to upload this presentation, the presentation we used at the beginning, and then we're going to see this dialogue next class. All right. Alrighty.
Great, teacher.
Okay. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next session next week.
Thank you. You
See you
too.
next
All right.
time.
Thank you very much.
Next time.
Have
See
a
you
nice
guys.
weekend.
Class.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
teacher. Goodbye.